the iPads now is they have a app on there called Teamworks, and so whether it's the coaching assistant or whoever it may be, they can push like messages out to us and have a schedule set, so we know what time we've got our meetings. But if there's anything important that like we need to know as a position group, we've got an O-line group chat going, which we take advantage of. It'd be crazy to see how players communicated back in like the 80s before they had cell phones, because even like when we were at the facility, if someone was running late or wasn't in the building yet, we'd get on our phone and call them right away and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, do you get in an accident or what?
Right.
And so but yeah, it's easy to contact each other and keep in touch.
Nice. So what's been the biggest adjustment going from Nashville over to Carolina? What's the biggest thing you've noticed so far?
I mean, the climate is very similar. It's basically just straight east of Nashville. From the little bit of time I spent there, the people are great. There's a good scene there with bars and food and
all the important things to us Midwesterners.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, when you play ball at Wisconsin for 5 years, you realize that.
Right.
But no, it seems like a great town. The cool thing about it is it's kind of NASCAR central. So when I get back there this off season, I was planning on kind of touring some of that stuff and checking it out. But obviously, with this all happening, that might not happen. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting back there.
Nice. So what have you been doing to keep yourself busy? You said you're out in Springfield, Minnesota. For the average Joe Blow who has no idea, tell us where it's at.
So it's in southwest Minnesota. I always tell people it's an hour west of Mankato, Minnesota. Mankato is where the Vikings had training camp for, gosh, I don't know how many years, but as a kid, it was always fun to go. It's only an hour away, and versus the Twin Cities is like 2.5 hours. So I never really got to any NFL games, but going to see them during training camp was always a highlight. But yeah, it's a small farming community, about population 2,000 people. So I'm able to get out, go for bike rides, go for walks. Been kind of doing some construction type stuff, building, and we heat our house with firewood, so constantly splitting wood if I get the chance to, and just trying to enjoy the weather, because I was here this winter and it wasn't very nice. So once the fishing opener hits, I'll probably try and get out on the lake a little bit and do some fishing.
Nice. Was a fishing opening down there or up there?
I think it's like around May 15th usually.
Oh, okay.
I know at the lake that we go to, supposedly the crappies are doing pretty well right now. So just got to get up there, and because there's no season on them, I believe, them and panfish.
Is it true that everybody kind of that dislikes the perch up there? Is it kind of like a bottom feeder?
No, I'll eat perch, man. I'll eat. I ate bullheads when I was a kid, so yeah, I don't.
You're saying is you want a lot of team challenges if I dare you to eat this, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'll eat anything.
I have my uncle's aunt. She makes this bullhead soup, and supposedly it's really good. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I went bow fishing a couple weeks ago, and we shot some dogfish, some carp, and one guy got a bullhead. But yes, I posted a picture on Instagram, and someone's like, "Please do not be eating them." And I'm like, "Smoked carp ain't bad if you make it right." But
oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely bottom feeders, so it's not like you want to just fillet them and fry them on the stove. But if you smoke them right, I think it's pretty good with like crackers or whatever.
Yeah.
Out here for some smoked walleye sometime. You'd be all set to go with that one.
There you go. Yeah.
Just teasing each other. We're only 20 minutes away from each other, and we haven't been able to see each other in a month, 2 months now. And it's just so weird because we're watching each other's kids grow up, and it sounds funny saying it that way, but we're 20 minutes away, man. You're stuck with, watching people grow up over the internet now, or watching all these monumental things happen. Jeff's daughter's only 9 months old, and seeing all the progression with her, it's like, no, she's too cute. We want to squeeze her and all the hair.
Yeah. I have two older brothers, and luckily the one is in the same town that I'm in right now. and he's got 2 kids, but the other one lives up by Moorhead, Minnesota, which is right by Fargo.
Nice.
And he's got a little boy that's like, he's not quite 2. I think he turns 2 in September, but he's at that age where like he's starting to talk, and he's just got so much personality. And yeah, it's like we try to FaceTime as much as we can, but I mean, it's not the same as being in person.
Yeah, my parents try FaceTiming us all the time, and it's not the same. They miss them, and my wife's parents miss them too, and it sucks right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So, any exciting plans for Mother's Day weekend, Tyler?
No, I haven't even got my mom anything yet. I'm
Oh,
not a good son, but
hopefully I'm not watching.
rely on them.
Well, I don't know. We'll probably like grill something, and
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be kind of chilly this weekend up here, so
Same.
it's like we'll be able to be outside. But I don't know. Just we'll find something to do.
Talking potential snow flurries out here by us this weekend. It's like, come on, dude. Really? We're in May.
Oh, jeez.
I thankfully have to work then.
We'll be shooting a show. I think we're going to bump up Sundays to Saturday this week. Obviously, this one being live, which is kind of fun, but definitely going to have some interesting fun. I was going to do a home inspection. Like, Sunday is Mother's Day. I'm like, no, the following one. I heard you guys get another one this month. He's like, oh, yeah, that works. Just like me. So, Tyler, speaking of, I promised you earlier, talking off air, we were going to go back to the throwback. So let's start off. When did you start first picking up or destroying someone playing football? When was your start in the game?
Like I just said earlier, I have 2 older brothers, so and we're all 4 years apart. So I mean, gosh, as soon as I can remember, I was playing sports, whether it was basketball, baseball, or football. And I was always trying to keep up with those 2. So,
Sure.
They were always pushing me. But in my hometown, we weren't able to really start organized football until I think 5th and 6th grade was flag football, and then 7th and 8th was junior high.
Okay.
I mean, you got some towns that are playing like, what is it, the little tykes or whatever when they're
I know, it's crazy.
That's like 5 years old. No wonder why we got concussion issues.
Yeah, oh crap.
Careful that word around here, man. That thing's dangerous. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
you guys have been scared away from the game. I mean, people don't realize that when you're an NFL player, having picked up some of the guys' mail before, I mean, you guys get 50 to 100 letters a month from all these people going, you're nuts for playing football. Here's all the damage that can happen. It's like anything else. Look at people that do demo derbies. Are you sitting there reading them freaking letters? Farmer John up the road? Like, no. So shut up. Let us play our game and get paid,
Yeah. Well, at this level, I mean, we know like what we're getting into. When you're a little kid, you don't really know what the long-term effects could be, but
it's either, hey, you do this or you get home and help mom wash dishes all day. Well, I'll go
yeah.
They'll push the button and have them do their dishes, It happens.
There's so many good life lessons you can learn in playing sports in general too. So yeah, I know I always get the question that people ask, like, if I have a boy or kids, whatever, will I let them play, contact sports? And it's like, I mean, if they want to, yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to keep them out of playing football just because of that.
Yeah, it's crossed my mind a little bit with that. I mean, maybe at a certain age, I might not let them play till just because the concussion thing kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I played when I was in 5th grade. I think Mike and I started at the same football place, St. Pat's, in Green Bay, and it was pretty neat to play that young.
Is that lotion on you right there? Because you're getting a little soft on me, buddy. You get more playing women's soccer than you do in NFL football, so it'll be.
I know.
We're talking to a lineman here. He doesn't know how to spell concussion. That was kind of sure they taught you that right away. That's fine.
Oh yeah.
So Tyler, your background from for college was what? What was your degree in then?
So I had an undergrad in life science communications with a certificate in entrepreneurship. And then I actually got a master's in educational leadership and policy analysis. So took full advantage of my time there. Yeah, it was a great place to be for for an education. And, we had great help with tutors and advisors. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have been to Camp Randall lately, but I think it was it like my sophomore, junior year, they redid the, like the education center on Camp Randall. So, I mean, we had brand new facilities. It was state of the art stuff. And yeah, I mean, it made it easy to be successful in the classroom as well as on the field.
So for those who don't know, what is life sciences? Like, what kind of stuff do you study in there?
I mean, it's kind of like a communications degree. But I took a lot of classes. I mean, I took weather and climate classes. I took marketing classes, speech classes, a radio class. Like, it just hit a lot of things. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and obviously I still don't. I'm gonna play ball as long as I can, but it was definitely it was good to just kind of touch on all those things.
Nice. So obviously the smart guy in the group, then whenever it came to betting players on different things, or if I ever go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I now Tyler, hope I can call on you.
Yeah, I'll be your phone a friend.
There you go. I don't even know if they let you do it now. Everything's so technology based. You might not even be able to call anybody. It's like, hey, we're gonna video chat Tom down the road here, and whatever. So
yeah,
that just started back up, I think, with Jimmy Kimmel.
It's been
I saw that.
Up every week. So Tyler, walk me through. Speaking of your college experience, I mean, the team, you guys did well while you were there, man.
Yeah, I was there from 11 to 15, and I mean, we had some successful years. Obviously the first 2 years we went to Rose Bowls, and then the last 3 we didn't, which, the first 2 years I didn't contribute as much, but it definitely kind of set the standard of like, hey, this is what we do. We play in good bowl games, and, to not get back to a Rose Bowl kind of sucked. But, we kind of started the trend of winning bowl games, because for a while there we weren't winning any. And I think it was my junior year when Alvarez coached us, we won the Outback Bowl, and then senior year won the Holiday Bowl. And I think ever since then we've been winning bowl games. So, it's one of those things where you look to the leaders in the room when you get there, and when you become that guy, you just try and kind of pass that torch on. And
kind of nice.
It's been cool. What's that?
It's kind of nice to actually own, like, the University of Miami. Like, Wisconsin just owns them. Like, especially, it's cool.
Exactly. And now a lot of those guys that because my senior year, I think we had like 4 redshirt freshmen starting on the O-line with me toward the end of the year. And, a lot of those guys are in the league now. And so I'll come across them when we play each other or whatever it is. And it's just cool to see them guys that are, they're growing up now. They're not little 18-year-old kids. So
mentality might still be there of an 18-year-old. Depends on which one you talk to.
Yeah. But and I haven't really got a chance to get back to Madison, which is kind of a bummer. But
I was just about the locker room you would never recognize anymore. I mean, the new facilities that they put in there is just amazing.
Yeah, I was back one time because I saw that they'd put in like a Jack Links.
The Jack Links.
Yeah, and one of the trainers was telling me about it, and I was like, man, this is crazy. They can like order a smoothie and get all the beef jerky they want. It's amazing.
Like a pro facility or what?
Yeah.
The whole camp set up that way. Once you're a ball player, like, you guys have, I don't remember what all places we went to, but there are like stations just for the athletes to like fuel up all day long. Like, you guys do not go hungry. You guys do not have to worry about getting enough to eat. Like, send the poor hungry people to UW-Madison, you'll be fine. Like,
yeah.
Amazing with this. Yeah. One of the coaches, I don't remember which position group, I think it was your guys' running backs coach. Here you go, Coach Lovelace, take all this with you. And gave me like a care package. It was, like you said, like $40 of beef jerky alone. I was like, this is awesome. Like,
yeah.
They're going crazy, picking up everything, whooping ass on the ping pong tables. It was a good time. Now they got pool tables in the sleep chambers. So it's really cool going on.
I know a lot of fans don't really know this, but you'd kind of expect like an NFL facility to be the best of the best, but it's not always that way because at college you got to recruit kids to come there, so you kind of want the wow factor with that. Where in the pro level, I mean, you're paying guys, so sometimes these owners don't always stick money into the facility to keep it updated. Luckily, when I was with Tennessee, they were kind of just doing some of them updates, and now I know the Panthers. I think they're going to be getting a new facility in like 2022.
Yeah, they some of the spec stuff on it's amazing. Some of the things. I mean, obviously we're spoiled here in Green Bay. They finally got some updates, and the fan experience is really what Green Bay is all about. Being a family-owned team or a community-owned team, a lot different. Like you said, you won't get the wow factor. You won't get the hey guys, here's a Rolex for you, and here's this and that. Like hilarious seeing what the guys at Madison get. My God, going through the locker room, they go, here, you want this, you want this, you want this. We don't care. We get it for free. Get to the level, and the guy's like, man, I don't even know if I can give you a pair of gloves, bro. I'm tied up on it. I was like, it's gloves. Like, you got 800 pairs. Nah, dude, I got for the year. I'm a practice squatter. It's like, it's all good. Man. So, like, people think the NFL life is just there. And it's crazy when you do the breakdowns. Obviously, you've taken a lot of business class, being the entrepreneur side. People don't really realize how much money really goes right back out there. I mean, you guys are getting 20, 30% at most. I mean, that's why you look at guys like a Marshawn Lynch that goes, I'm not spending my NFL check anytime soon. I'll live off the interest and I'm good to go. So
smart.
All that when it happens.
Yeah. It's and that's with teams and locker rooms, like the O-line usually hangs out a lot together, and to kind of surround yourself with someone that's living that way. I mean, you got some guys that'll just blow through their money and they got 10 cars or something like that. And then you got the other guy that's investing all his money and, living pretty tight. It's like, I'm going to be around that guy and pick his brain.
Right. Well, and being from a small town, obviously it's probably maybe a little bit more frugal than the guys that people that Jones.
Yeah. I don't need much to live. I'd rather be outside the majority of the day anyway.
Well, and like you said earlier, I mean, you hunt, you fish, you do all that different stuff. I mean, yeah, you can provide if you have to in a nutshell. I mean, most guys that would think NFL player, oh, he's got this, he's got that, and you're telling me you're cutting your own firewood. Like, that's for the average person, they're not going to understand what that means. They're like, why the hell wouldn't you hire someone? Well, unfortunately, it's called life. And then you get boredom. I mean, look at all of us right now with nothing else for to do. We're all learning hobbies we never thought we'd have anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad thing.
No. What's something new, Tyler, that you've learned or picked up as a hobby since everything started here?
Gosh, I don't know. I guess there isn't too much because all my other hobbies have kept me busy, but man, I don't know. I guess if I wanted to, I could probably learn how to like sew something. My mom's pretty good at all that stuff, which isn't very manly, but I mean, if you get in a bind, it's not a bad little hobby to know, but
hey, a pair of pants, it comes in handy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fine. It's good for that. So
yeah.
Play down there.
But yeah, I mean, especially with, going from winter to spring or summer here, you finally can put the snowblower away, which is a great feeling up here in the Midwest, and
winter.
Get out the
pre-winter
mower. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but we've had some rain here, so we've been gonna have to start mowing here every week, I suppose. But
they've been flooding again throughout. So we were just up in the New London area up here, and yeah, they had a ton of water above flood crest and all that. And it's been crazy, but it is what it is. You kind of expect it, like you said. So luckily we didn't get big, over-expected, overblown forecast for snow. I mean, they were saying it was going to be the worst winter ever, and it was going to be snow every day. I mean, honestly, Jeff, I don't know about you, but I don't think it was that bad here in Wisconsin this year compared to others.
No, I don't think it was terrible. I mean, we didn't get snow till Christmas?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Even when it did, I maybe used my snowblower 3-4 times.
I moved to so I didn't have to.
Half the time it was just me being lazy and not wanting to shovel.
That worked.
Yeah, I know. Compared to last year, it's definitely been a better year.
Right. Yeah. So Tyler, go ahead, Jeff.
I have a mother-in-law lives up in Rhinelander in Wisconsin, and they're getting 12 inches of snow at a pop, and they're just not loving it.
It's crazy. They have like a country festival there, don't they?
Oh yeah,
in the summer.
Big, right?
Yeah.
Bring your own.
Yeah, because Well, I know there was a guy, Aaron Watson. He was playing there, like I think maybe last year, and I wanted to go to it, and I Googled where that was. It was like in the middle of nowhere.
I'll tell you that.
But it just made me think, with all this going on, like Wisconsin, Minnesota, we've got so many music festivals, and like I've been to the Dells. The Dells thrives off of summers, and with this virus, it's like
that's not looking pretty there.
Yeah, they're gonna be hurting.
Tyler, around when the big flood happened, when they lost Lake Delton. Well, now this year again, for the first time again now, or second time again now, they are completely canceling all Tommy Bartlett shows this year. Already today. That was something I posted up earlier. I mean, that's just crazy when you think about, like I said, a huge thing. That's family owned.
That guy's been down there for years.
Show sponsors Ken. I mean, they're still shut down right now, and they're a restaurant trying to get by. It's amazing to see, little towns like that thrive on that. Even Green Bay. If we don't get the training camp started, they're saying that's $200-300 million at least.
Definitely.
Another big event, Tyler, you're probably used to is EAA, the big fly-in Oshkosh. That's canceled this year now. $170 local impact. I mean,
what about Country USA? Do you know anything about that?
Get back to I think it's August right now, so we're looking at maybe going. Now we're gonna probably end up being in Nashville. Knock on wood that we can. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff at Bay. There's a lot of people, like even the Dell's kickoff books through one of the radio stations. Those aren't happening this year. It's just
even the radio stations are struggling to look for stuff to give out to people for contests and stuff. Like it's just random stuff. Oh, when it opens up, you can use this or whatever.
Yeah. I had the local paper here in Minnesota that would follow us and do articles on us. He was kind of, I don't know, starving for some articles. He called me up the one day because he had done one on me like after the season when I'd signed the futures deal, and he's like, "Hey, can I do another story on you?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." But there's been a couple kids from my hometown that have gone and played college ball now, and so it seemed like every other day it was like a Springfield kid with an article in there because he was trying to, just get content out. And it's crazy times.
All you can watch, man. It's been crazy. So
yeah.
Cornhole. What was the other big thing ESPN just had? Wasn't it
that horse
racing? Yeah, was it virtual horse racing?
Well, no, they had like the basketball players playing horse against each other.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys see that? That kind of stupid, but
where are you? Like it doesn't.
That Bulls documentary's been what I've been looking forward to every week, which is cool.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, you don't realize how bad it really was. I mean, you heard the stories of Jordan punching a guy and doing some of the other stuff and having his gambling, but yeah, you don't realize half the stuff, like the Dennis Rodman getting a 2-day paid vacation, and even before the championship game, Coach Jackson just going, you know what, you guys all disappeared for a little bit. When most coaches are like, you guys need to practice, like Jordan said himself, man, you would have told us that, you'd had some pissed off dudes, man. Like, it would
Well, like for me, I mean, I'm a little younger than you guys, I know, but I don't really remember watching them play. I was just too young, so it was kind of nice to see it.
I'm not a Jordan fan by any means. I'm not a big star guy. I don't like the cockiness kind of thing. Like, I know everybody loved him, but I just never was a fan. I was a Karl Malone, Reggie Miller. I know Reggie Miller is a little cocky too, but I like those guys.
Yeah. I think it's interesting how he's got a stogie in his mouth every other clip they show of him. It's like, my goodness, does this guy have any lungs or
scotch and all that? Yeah, I mean, hell.
Yeah.
Well, like he was saying, if you just watched the last episode, he said, "Damn, when guys were sitting around the locker room when I got started, he goes, guys would be bumming cigarettes off your coaches. Like that's just I mean, I've coached arena ball, and it's crazy because we've had guys lighting up cigars in the hallway, during the middle of the game. So it's like, holy really? Is this our guys? But you'd walk through the pot-filled hallways and everything. I mean, it's just insane.
You can't even smoke in bars. Like,
I played for my first 2 years in the league was with for Coach Malarkey, and Russ Grimm was our O-line coach, and they were definitely the older generation, and when they played, like they would tell us stories about coming in after practice, and instead of the coolers being filled with Gatorade and water, it was beer.
Yeah.
Or between practice and like meetings that night, they would go dip out to the bar for a little while, and come back to meetings,
Man,
however many beers deep, and it's
sounds like Wisconsin.
No, for sure.
Cool,
but it's just crazy to think, how times have changed.
Yeah, nowadays, I mean, we laugh because I've coached high school football up to the pros, and it's hilarious when you have the Pee-wee football parents, if you know what I'm referring to there, because I know it says you've ran a lot of camps. My kid was a stud in 5th grade. Really? Your kid was a stud? Who was he signed with? Nike, Adidas, Under Armour? Like, who is he that big? Like, it's just amazing to see even now. You can't correct a kid without worried about a parent jumping down your throat going, hey, you ruined my kid's life because you told him he needed to correct his form and he had his head down and he can put his head down if he wants. Yeah, sue me so your kid has a separated neck. Like, no, that's happen. So us in the soccer generation, I hate to pick on you, Tyler, but hell, like we were joking with Esra, who played with Favre and all those guys, and you just said it. The things that those guys used to do, if social media existed, let's be honest, most of the league would be locked up. Half the things wouldn't happen. I mean, you guys are so at a disadvantage now that everything has to be recorded. Everything has to be documented. Everything has to be – there's so much on that BS and political side. You don't just get to shut up and play ball anymore, which is sad. Look at some of the guys now going, is he making it because of his true athletic ability? Is it because of who his agent is? Is it because of – there's all that politicking that you look like and go, I used to whoop him up and down the sideline. All of a sudden that guy's making it, I'm not. And it comes in, why is that happening? Well, unfortunately, as well as I do, there's a lot of politicking still involved in that game.
Yeah, and I know, like, watching the MJ episode this last week, or the Bulls documentary, he kind of touched on how, like, he wasn't really able to be himself because everywhere he'd go, he was always getting bombarded. And, I mean, I'm not at that level by any means, but, like, you got to just be careful. You can't even retweet certain things or put a certain picture. I mean, like, you're always second guessing yourself, and you can't just really be yourself, which is annoying, but it is what it is. I'm definitely blessed in other areas and fortunate for what I'm doing.
Well, look at the kids, like during a draft or whatever, a bad tweet from 5-6 years ago comes back and it just kills his career. Like Michael Orr that one year, he had a video of him, I think he was smoking marijuana, and it came back.
Tunsil.
Tunsil, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was Tunsil.
I never.
He kept slipping, and then finally the Dolphins grabbed him at like 9. He was supposed to go like 2 overall.
Yeah, you got to be careful. It makes you think back to like what you posted in high school on Facebook or MySpace, and I was like, oh, hopefully it wasn't anything bad.
Nice to look at those Facebook memories, and you look back, it's like, what the heck was I thinking?
Yeah.
So speaking of the Michael thing, man, what happened to that guy? Like, he just had the meltdown. I don't understand. You talk about philosophies and mental side and being able to handle the game. Obviously, we all saw the movie. Then he goes, well, I don't want to be recognized because the movie. Well, you knew what the heck you were getting into at that point. And then he beats the crap out of someone for doing it. Like, what do you think? Now, I get the stress of the NFL because I've grown around this sport my entire life. I mean, I've had neighbors of all skill level here. People don't understand the skill set and the mental capacity of what you players have to deal with. I mean, there's the testing you guys have to go through to even make it to the NFL. That's a big part of that now in the draft that never used to be. Before, it was like, how many fingers? Close enough. You're in. Now it's like, hey, man, what was the broadside of a barn 3 ways from Sunday, twice removed, find X? You're like, huh? It's just such a crazy, crazy world. And you look at, it doesn't take much to get to players nowadays. Even safety for you guys is becoming a bigger and bigger issue at facilities now. It's just, we had a guy crash into something at Lambeau Field here a year and a half ago. It's just insane.
It was like Cook that went nuts or something in there. Yeah.
Fired, and 2 days later he came back and rammed his car into it and threatened to blow it up. I mean, in Green Bay.
Wow.
So it's a weird situation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate that I have thick skin. I don't know if it was from growing up with 2 brothers that were beating on me or making fun of me, whatever, but it's just, you just kind of have to shake some of that stuff off. And just, I don't know, I'm just always focused on my job and what I need to do and, what I need to get done. Any way I can help the team, that's what I'm going to do. But, yeah, I mean, you see a lot of guys that kind of crumble when they reach the top of their game or start getting some publicity, and it's too bad because I'm sure they're rolling in the dough. But I mean, at the same time, that's maybe not them being happy either. So
there's a lot of guys because of the money. I mean, you talk to some of the old school guys and they'll tell you, man, if it wasn't for the money, I sure as hell wouldn't have played. I mean,
yeah,
see that. I mean, obviously, as well as I do, you go to a certain practice and you see the guy that's barely there. I mean, look at your TOs. The guy had all the gifts in the world, but he couldn't shut up.
Yeah.
There's a guy that obviously wasn't happy because it was me, me, me. If it wasn't me and trying to help the team, I'm out of here. I'm quitting. I mean, you mentioned the MJ series. The Pistons walked off the floor, man, with 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember that much as a kid, but once I hear that, I'm like, man, Isaiah Thomas is a punk, man. Like,
yeah.
Insane.
My dad would have whooped me. Oh.
Oh, for sure.
He was like, you were a douche. So just amazing to see, like, when you look into some of this stuff of how crazy now that things really come out and we're starting to hear stories about, Favre and the Reggies of the world and some of the bigger names, even the Nitschkes, the Don Shulas of the world. I mean, you look at a guy like Don Shula, obviously, who just left Earth here now. And, there's a legendary coach that you never heard of one single story. In all my years that I've been alive, I've not heard one single bad thing ever said about Don Shula. So you got to look at that and go, man, that guy did everything right. That's the guy I want to emulate. Then you look at other coaches and go, man, he was doing everything wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you look at like a guy like Belichick. I mean, there might be an asterisk next to his name the rest of his life because of some of the things that have gone on. But at the same time, I mean, he's had success and he's doing what he's got to do to win. So
can't argue success.
Yeah. I had a strength coach tell me one time, he's like, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And I don't know, I guess some guys might live by that a little too much.
It's a motto too. It's called Green Bay Don't Pay. So, and that's at all levels. Right.
Yeah.
Tyler, we talked to Faf the other day. Who was your most hated rival or the worst team that you had to go against? Like, who was the one team you're like, man, these SOBs again? Who's that for you?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, Ohio State, I don't think we beat them when I was there. I mean, they were always really good. But I don't know if I didn't play them one year. Iowa was always a good team. You kind of look forward to that battle. Me being from Minnesota, I was always looking forward to that, even though they didn't really give us much of a game. But
were you a Gopher fan?
Not really. I didn't really grow up as a college fan until I started getting recruited. I paid more attention to the pros. And we had some good teams when I was growing up, the 98 Vikings and
Austin Culpepper. And
yeah, those years.
Underrated back in NFL history, I think, is Robert Smith. That guy was just
and he retired early too. He could have played a lot longer.
Him and Tiki Barber did the same thing,
Yeah. And then the Timberwolves were good too. I always remember watching them a lot. But Gopher sports. As a kid, I think I remember watching the women's basketball with like Lindsay Whalen, because that was one of the only teams that was decent. Even though we had Lawrence Maroney and Barber came out.
Barber, yeah.
I think in the early 2000s. But yeah, so then when I started getting recruited, I was like, dang, I better learn a little bit about college sports. But only having the two big offers made it easy to pick between the two schools. So
who was your offer?
Just Minnesota and Wisconsin, and South Dakota State offered me, but obviously I was going to go Big Ten if I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did the family have to say when you chose the rivals over the hometown team? Were they kind of upset? Were they still happy because you were happy, or what was their thought on that too?
They understood just because of the football side of things. I don't think I could have went wrong going to Minnesota as a school either, education wise, but and they wanted me to go to Minnesota just because it was a lot closer.
Right.
And at the time I had a brother in Bloomington going to chiropractic school there too. So that would have been super handy to be around family and could have been awesome. But I definitely made the right choice in going to Madison, and it was just an all around great 5 years there. And I met a ton of people that I still keep in touch with. And I have some more extended family that are, closer to Madison that I kind of got to know more throughout the years too. So I'm kind of glad I did that.
Nice.
Who was your chum buddy when you were on the team? Like, who was your always go-to? If they were looking for you, they'd find him right with you. Who was that for you?
Me and Dan Volz, the center, he came in, I think, a semester early. So I was only there, my freshman summer and fall. And then he came in that spring, and he had to live in the dorms 1 year, but then we were roommates the rest of my time there. And Austin Molly, he was a tight end from Wanakee. Him and I were good buds too. We were freshman roommates in the dorms and lived together for another 3-4 years after that. So those two guys, I mean, we had a good O-line group in general. I mean, Kyle Costigan and Rob Havenstein.
Dallas back on the NFL right now, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie.
Yeah.
Right now. Talk about Dallas. Definitely serious about his diet. We had Robbie out for well, I shouldn't call him Robbie because he'd probably punch me in the throat for that because he hates that. There's one boy, we had him out for a signing, and that dude was like straight salad, counting every single part, like picking through. It's amazing because that dude dropped some weight. But I was like, bro, steak, please, like let me feed you. And he's, man, can you guys just get me a really nice salad? Hold this, hold that. I'm like, are you?
Yeah.
Like, we were expecting a $300 tab, and here's a guy with like a $10 salad. It was crazy.
Yeah, when he came in to Wisconsin, supposedly he was like close to 400 pounds, and they just had to or he was maybe like 370, some crazy number, and he had to just drop a bunch of weight before he could really start developing as a player. And I mean, that's respect to him for that.
He definitely dropped some more weight too. I mean, when I saw him, I thought he was almost a tight end. I was like, where the heck's Rob? I mean, other than his height, I mean, he really slimmed out. So pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he got drafted early and he's still playing in the league and doing well and making good money. So, I mean, he did everything right. So it's proof
for sure.
Definitely is the groomer for the O-line. Any surprises by you in this year's draft? Whether it be personally with the Panthers or with the Badgers? I mean, no Badgers O-lineman taken until forever, it seemed like.
Yeah. I think when I was a senior, Zach was a freshman, and so I went against him a lot as a scout player. Yeah. And I mean, I just kind of sensed that he was going to be a freak. I mean, he was just a freak athlete, and to see him really kind of step into his own in the last 2 years was cool. And he was a nice guy, and that was fun to watch. And I'm glad that he got drafted, and hopefully he just keeps killing it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We kind of had there was no seniors that even really entered the draft, were there? Or Erdman, I guess.
Yeah,
as an offensive lineman.
Yeah, did he sign with anybody?
I don't know if he did or not.
Yeah, and then
because Tyler was a junior that left early, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Bond was a senior, wasn't he?
Yeah, no. Tyler. I don't even know how you say his last name. The center.
Oh, yeah, I did.
The
two, yeah.
Yeah. But
any surprise by Jonathan Taylor slipping so far in the draft, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's not too surprising just because I feel like running backs, you just don't see them go in the first. They have such a short lifespan in the NFL. I don't know. I mean, for his sake, I was hoping he would have. But just with the reality of the business, I guess it didn't surprise me too much.
Well, good.
You guys probably got the biggest surprise in what the Packers are doing over there. That's just the talk of the league.
You guys posted up when you guys see the virtual locker room is just what the hell is going on? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I got
there's the biggest saying he won't retire here, and then it's just creating controversy. But like you said, the league is slow and needs something to talk about. I know we just saw too the NFL release that they plan to open on time. Is that something that they've kind of been relaying to you guys, or what's the latest that you've heard from the NFL as far as what to expect coming up?
I mean, we honestly get told kind of what the fans hear. I mean, we'll maybe get an email, but then they release it on Twitter or whatever it is. So
there's always
I'm sure. What's that?
There's always a leak now. It seems like there's no secrets, no anything. I mean, everything's
yeah. And I mean, we just went through the whole CBA thing with the players union and the owners, and we just had that battle. Well, now I'm sure they're back talking again about how we're going to proceed with the season and what'll happen there. So I've heard possibility of pushback to. Sorry.
Oh, I said, yeah. Anytime you hear you're pushing back a paycheck, yeah, you're definitely going to get it. And you guys have a former Packer running your CBA now, which is kind of nice, or the players group. So that's always nice.
Yeah, and so I've heard talk about, the season maybe getting pushed back to October and then like no bye and just going straight through. Well, you can't just throw us into the wolves. I mean, we're used to having 6-week training camp, which if that's shortened, I mean, players might enjoy that, but it's definitely gonna be tough on your body if you're going. And I don't know, they might shorten the season up too, but if it's a 16-game season and you just go straight through, that'll be tough.
Yeah, I mean, a guy on the edge, does that give you an advantage or disadvantage if the season's, either pushed back or whatever? I mean, obviously you're kind of on the edge, like you said. I mean, we've been kind of seeing you go through your progression. I mean, does that benefit you having all that extra time, or are you just maybe it's a quicker flash that you get in the pan there?
I don't know, man. I guess the benefit I'll have is I've been in the league, so rookies coming in or younger guys coming in, it's like. And two, I mean, we're away from the facility, so there's not someone telling us what to do. You got to be motivated and stay on top of your stuff and take care of business yourself. So, and I've got that motivation going for me, and I feel like I'm a smart guy, so I'm picking up the playbook as quick as possible. So we'll see what happens.
Major changes for you, or is it pretty, as a lineman, I guess for the average person, they don't understand lineman technology. They think you just go out there, you either have pass block or you have run block. That's it. How complicated does this year's scheme seem to be for you so far? I know you say you're kind of catching in on it. Is it pretty complex to last year, pretty similar? Like, how has it changed for you on the offensive line side?
I mean, to be honest, every team runs the exact same plays. It's just some run different plays more often, I guess. And a lot of the verbiage or the wording is similar around the league, so it's easy to pick up on. But yeah, you just kind of have to. The biggest thing is knowing what techniques the coaches want and how they want to get the blocks done, to be successful. And you're trying to kind of do what he asks. So the good thing about the league, the NFL, is sometimes coaches are like, well, if you can get it done your way, feel free to do that. And so it just kind of depends who you're playing for.
Is there a scheme you kind of like better, like a zone or man blocking?
I mean, just from playing at Wisconsin, we ran a lot of power, a lot of gap scheme, and inside zone. But this last coaching staff at Tennessee, which I mean, it's kind of the same coaching tree that the Packers have with LaFleur now, because he was there the first year, is all outside zone based. So I kind of got used to running that too. So, man, I mean, I just like running the ball. I mean, the more we can run it, the better.
Every line, yes. Does it hurt a little bit in winter?
I mean, that game we played in Minnesota, I think it was my sophomore year. It was like -15 or something. It was like the coldest game played there. Man, that was brutal. Your fingers were hurting every time you punch or go to block someone. But that's what I was thinking about, is if they push the season back. I was like, now you're playing games in October, November, where in the Midwest, that's when it's starting to get cold. And if you play into later February, it's like now it's going to be brutal.
It is. Oh.
Yeah.
January, we came and host a Super Bowl, but you'll let guys play a regular season game?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Tyler, who's your biggest prankster on the team, both with the Badgers and then obviously once you got to the NFL? Like, what's your most memorable prank or rookie hazing that you had to deal with so far when you were there?
Man, I don't know. We had like Ryan Groy, he was always kind of joking around. I don't know. There wasn't anything too serious. But I mean, back when I played, it was a little more loose on the rookie hazings thing. So some guys would get taped up or whatever it might be, taped to the goalpost or whatever. I mean, I think we used to have freshman Olympics where we had to run from like the student section of Camp Randall. Okay. We'd race from the bottom to the top before practice.
Oh.
So yeah, that's brutal. And then we'd have to go and start practice.
Oh, jeez.
And if it was raining, we'd have to barrel roll the width of the field.
Oh.
And I don't know if you get dizzy at all, but I definitely do. And then we'd have to like backpedal backwards. It was awful.
Oh.
But in the league, we had a guy, Ben Jones, with the Titans. He would throw a birthday cake in your face if it was your birthday and we were in the facility. So, or it wasn't always a cake. It would be like whipped cream or like baby powder or whatever you could find that's just messy. Sometimes it would.
Well, if you would like get a walk off or something, they throw a pie in your face or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And he would try and just like hit you as hard as he could, which I mean, it's all in good fun, but I would just keep my head on a swivel when it was my birthday, and luckily he never got me.
Nice. Yeah, what was your most memorable game here in Wisconsin? Like, what's one big game you always have that takeaway of going back to?
Yeah, I always kind of go back to my junior year when we played. I don't remember exactly the order, but it was like Wisconsin or Minnesota, Iowa, and Nebraska, back to back to back, and we had to win those three in order to make it to the Big Ten championship and to win our side of the division. And obviously that Nebraska game was the game where Melvin went off for over 400 yards and three quarters. So
something.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Oh, it was nasty.
I wasn't even playing in the fourth quarter, which was great.
Banner Martinez, that Martinez kid, that quarterback.
Yeah. And it was like snowing that day, and there was like no wind, so the snow was just falling. I don't know. It was just your typical like
Midwest day,
Midwest football game, and guys were making snow angels after the game. It was awesome. And that was when we had incorporated the trophy. I don't know if that was a thing the first few years we played them, but we're playing for the Memorial Trophy, or I don't even think that's what it's called, but
I can't think of that one.
It's because our stadium is Camp Randall, the old like war grounds, and theirs is called Memorial Stadium. So it's like half of the trophy is our stadium and half the trophy is their stadium. It's kind of like a war memorial kind of trophy. It's actually super cool.
Be called the War Games Trophy.
I think maybe the Freedom Trophy, maybe.
That might be.
I should probably know this, but
that sounds familiar.
It's been so long ago. I forget a lot of that stuff.
So going college or pro, which one were you more nervous for, do you think?
I think the jump between high school and college was bigger. The speed definitely increases from college to the NFL, but you do know what you're getting into because you've played against some of the best, and they're going into the league as well. But that first freshman year, and I was actually coming off of ACL injury in high school, my senior year of football, and so to kind of come back from that, it was a long freshman year. Plus, you got all the freshman stuff that goes along with it, and but yeah, I mean, you learn to pick it up, and you kind of get in your groove, and things keep rolling, and I don't know. At that level too, you're around the same people for 5 years. Where like the NFL, you might have a teammate for 1 year and a coaching staff for 1 year, and they're gone. Well, actually, with the Badgers, we had quite a few different coaches. My 5 years I was there, which is surprising, but at least like the teammates around you were consistent. So it was kind of nice just lean on each other.
Well, and you guys have a pretty well-known Badger from this year's team coming in Chris Orr. Has he reached out to you at all as far as what to expect down there in Carolina yet, or?
No, he hasn't. And actually, when I was there this last year, I saw Natrell's down there too. He was on IR, I believe. But it's always nice just to see, familiar faces. When I was out with the Chargers, obviously Derek and Melvin were there, and so Derek and I, we would sit by each other in the plane and kind of catch up and So yeah, when I was with the Titans, I don't think we ever had any Wisconsin Badgers come down. I know I had a gopher offensive lineman, and Jonah Prissig was down there for camp, and so him and I kind of would chat it up. But yeah, anytime you can be around Midwest people, it's always a good thing.
Have you ever done any hunting or fishing with the Watt boys out here in Wisconsin yet, or is that on the list of things to do yet?
Are they big hunters? I don't know.
They have a little hunting cabin, but I think JJ turned that into a sports complex for himself. He always has the old line they show on there together. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they'd go fishing, but I never really got to do any of that when I was in Wisconsin.
Okay.
There's times where Groy, he would go hunting, I think before practice or like in the mornings. He'd wake up at 6 before class just to go hunting. I was like, dude, you're nuts.
That's dedicated.
Yeah. And he knew the spots too.
Oh, nice. There's a lot of open space, I guess. Yeah, once you get outside the city limit. I mean, there's enough small town out there. So
I only had a moped, so it's not like I'm gonna throw a gun or a bow on my back and takes me a half hour to get out there.
You gotta call coach. I need an excuse in practice, and I need your pickup truck when we're done. I'll run hills later. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who is the nastiest guy you ever played against so far in your career, Tyler? Like, who's the one guy that you're just like, dude, that is one dirty dude, and you just know it's coming? Like, who is that guy for you?
Man, I didn't really have too many of them. There'd be like a linebacker, I guess, that the coaches would kind of, make a note of, or like, hey, this guy is known for trying to grab stuff when you're on the bottom of the pile, or whatever it is. But I think being an offensive lineman, it's not like you're getting tackled, so
sure.
I never really experienced too much of that.
Okay.
So your first start was with the Texans. Did you have to line up against JJ at all?
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting first career start, but it was a good challenge, and it was cool that we won the game, and just an overall good team victory. So
you could talk to him at the end, or?
Not really. I never crossed paths with him at college, so I don't even know if he would know who I am.
Yeah.
So walk me through what prompted the change from you go the defensive to the offensive side of ball? Like, what happened there?
I never played defense in college, but in high school I did. I played both. I played both ways just because I'm from such a small school.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. When you play offensive line, there's no stats or there's nothing fancy about it. So I was just glad I got to get a couple sacks and tackles.
I played D tackle. That was a lot more fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like, I mean, I was a tight end, I think, my freshman year. So I had, those highlights, and then it's like, all right, we're going to move you to offensive line. And now it's like, oh, great. So then you kind of switch your focus to just the D line and trying to get a little glory. But obviously, I knew that playing offensive line was the better option for later on.
What else you got there, Jeff? I know you're itching to ask something usually.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know what. I mean, being being in NFL, you said you had never really attended a NFL game. Was your first game actually being in the NFL?
I think I had gone to one game at the Metrodome.
Okay.
When I was a kid, but we also got to play in the Metrodome for state football, which was pretty cool. So I had been in the stadium, and when I was getting recruited, I'd been in. I've gone to Camp Randall, and I think I went to an Iowa game and a Minnesota game. So I'd been in big stadiums, and a lot of college stadiums are bigger than the NFL stadiums. And unfortunately, when I got to Tennessee, the fan base there wasn't that great because I think they'd won 5 games in 2 years, the previous 2 years. So it was like, I don't know. I mean, not disappointing, but it's like, man, I just come from Wisconsin where it was sold out every game, and there's 90,000 people in the stands, and tailgating is crazy. I mean, there's definitely no other experience like college football. I mean, And that was a cool part about going to Iowa as a recruit. The way they tailgate is so different. I mean, it's more like parking lots and campers
that stadium's pretty unique. I mean,
yeah,
they're at ground level and then it goes down. I had my daughter's godfather went to Iowa and we got to experience that. It was pretty neat to see.
Yeah, where like Madison is more of there's like house, it's houses, it's just packed around the stadium, so it's a bunch of cars parked in yards and grills going or whatever. So it was cool to experience that.
Yep.
Tyler, if you had to give some advice to someone looking to maybe decide between Madison or another school, one of those guys I've heard is still Donald Driver's son. Christian's still looking in Wisconsin, who was top ranked. What's your recruiting pitch for the University of Wisconsin, Tyler, if you had to give one?
Yeah, get him.
I mean, when I was getting recruited by Bielema, he would always just tell me, like, you're gonna get a good education. It's good football, and like the environment, the community, the people that here are great. He's like, those are the three things that you really need, and Madison offers that. I mean, the summers were some of the best memories there because every other student was gone. So Madison wasn't like packed like it was during the school year. And you could go to what's that?
Mifflin.
Yeah, man. But like you could go to the lakes and just kind of kick back and enjoy yourself after workouts and, just experience things during the summer that you couldn't during the school year. So yeah, I mean, it's a great place to be. I would recommend it for anyone, especially if you're a does he play wide receiver?
I think he's safety wide receiver, I believe.
That's the ball, yeah. He's pretty recruited at both. I think he's like 13th country or something ranked or something. It's
if you're a stud receiver, I don't know why you wouldn't want to come to Wisconsin because it's not. I mean, we've had a few good ones the past few years, but
Defus, man, that kid. I hate seeing him in Detroit, but
yeah.
But I mean, he's a good pro. I think I really do. He's slow, but he's big and he catches everything.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, shoot, if I was a receiver, I'd go there because you might have a really good chance at being the number one guy and getting thrown a lot of balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I got my dog trying to chime in. Apparently, it's past his bedtime already. You're looking forward to, Tyler, while you're in Carolina this year?
I mean, it just seems like it's been forever since we played ball. I'm just looking forward to getting back to that. And it's kind of a newer town for me. So just, getting rid of the anxiety of moving to a new town and just settling in will be nice.
Do you have your place already, or is that still on the to-do list?
I mean, I don't really want to get anything until I know, and like you said, when you're an on the edge guy, I mean, It doesn't pay to really plant your roots anywhere. I just pack a suitcase and load the truck up and go. So, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I've enjoyed it.
You stay at like a hotel or something then, or?
Yeah, hotel, extended stay, or Airbnb, or in Tennessee when I was there for the 3-4 years, I finally rented an apartment. But
you have to at that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just it's too bad that you're throwing away money in rent when you could maybe be investing in a house. I mean, you guys were talking about that earlier. Maybe a little jealous.
Not
I have 3 kids, man. You have nothing to be jealous about.
Tyler, and then some. So yeah, you won't be saying that then. You're like, where did that go? Oh, who threw that shoe window? Like,
yeah,
there too. So yeah, it's sometimes good. Like I said, this will be my first experience with home ownership, but looking at how much money I've just, like you said, kind of pissed away in the wind for rent for how many years, it's just like, man, I probably could have paid off half a house by now. I mean, it's
worth it.
Live and learn once you get there.
Now you will have to mow your own lawn, though. I don't know if you had to do that before, but you can't just call the.
I wish I still coach high school ball. I'd make the kids come over and do it.
I've done it twice already this year.
Likes it. She's 12, and for some reason, when the day I let her use that lawnmower, man, all of a sudden she loved me that day. Holy cow! Girl at the time was younger, of course, pushing his little fake little Tykes one, and he loved that and got to do that. He's mad at me. I just sold it the other day. I'm like, dude, you're 6. You don't need a fake push mower anymore.
My son, a couple more years, you can use the real one.
Does it?
Well, cool. Well, Tyler, I know you got a lot of stuff going on. I know you're still got a million one things that you got to do, and obviously you got your playbook to get into and everything. So we're gonna let you be, but we want to wish you the best of luck with everything coming up. Hopefully, you'll stay in contact. I'll look out for my message from me on where to go. I'm in Nashville, and if we get down to Carolina, we hope to catch up with you while we're there.
For sure, man. Thank you guys for having me on. It was good catching up.
Badgers.
What's that? I didn't
always cheering for you Badgers. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. We'll have to get to a Badger game sometime, maybe after I'm done playing ball.
Hey, hi, man. Let us know.
Do a little tailgating.
I got a sister that lives down there.
There we go.
Here's see if the main game will even happen this year. I mean, you got to feel bad for those guys too that you don't even get spring ball right now. I mean, you're going right into season and that's it. So it's got to be difficult.
I know. I was talking about earlier, there's a kid from my hometown that plays baseball at Augustana, and this would have been his senior year, and luckily they've granted them the opportunity to come back, which he's going to do. So,
yeah, that's nice.
You know, I think if something like that were to happen, I mean, that's probably what they would do.
Right.
So, but yeah, still, I mean, when you kind of got your schedule going and you're planning for your future, you don't really want something like this that's out of your control to just throw a wrench in it, but it is what it is.
Fortunately, don't stop aging. That's one thing I figured out in life. So, I still can, because every year, every couple months, like you said, especially if you let yourself go, there's going to be guys that come into camp overweight or out of shape that didn't do a darn thing but sit on the couch and hope they collect some endorsement checks. So it'll be interesting to see who is with it and who's not. So
called exactly.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Embracing it too well. So yeah, thanks for rubbing it. So, well, perfect, Tyler. Thanks again, and we'll chat with you soon, man. I appreciate it. And Jeff,
thank you
for being with us.
Yep, thank you.
Good seeing you guys. Take care.
Cool. We're all off, so appreciate it, Tyler. Yeah, stay in touch, man, and let's chat soon for sure. If I can get down there, we'll definitely link up or something.
Yeah, man, that'd be awesome. You'll have to. What do you do for work? Do you travel quite a bit, or?
Every now and then. I mean, for this, I can take it on the road. I used to have a sports management group. I kind of did a lot of, like I said, the autograph signing stuff. So
okay.
Basically, I was hanging out with all my NFL buddies, and someone goes, "Dude, you know you could be getting paid, right?" I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
I mean, I can travel pretty much whenever I want. The nice thing about being a sales rep is I think I have 140 hours vacation banked up, so I can get on a plane and go somewhere any day I want. They're pretty cool. Bathurst,
Nice.
Springfield, Tennessee company. So, yeah, I did my training down there and definitely went out and had some fun. And then, yeah, I mean, it's always been a fun place. So, yeah, my girl's first time ever being down in Nashville. So she's a big singer and does all that stuff. So she's definitely down there. So, actually, honey, are you up or no? Or did you fall asleep? Come here once.
Mine's sleeping. I know she is.
What time is it anyway? Oh, it's only 9:30.
9:30. Well, we're usually in bed once you have this many kids, we're usually in bed by 8:30. But they're at aunt and uncle's this week, so
I'm usually getting yelled at. I'm snoring on the couch, so
got strep throat, so we sent him over to aunt, so we didn't get it.
And Jeff, what do you do?
I actually just work at a labeling company and kind of close to Green Bay. It's called Belmark. Do a lot of I work in a folded carton plant. Actually, just kind of factory work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Nothing wrong with that, man.
Just found out that one of the guys has corona in our plant, so it kind of sucks.
Oh, geez. Are they shutting you guys down then, or what?
Oh, they. I don't know. It's been kind of frustrating the way they handle it, but it's they tell you to clean, but they didn't really tell you to clean.
Yeah.
So they shut down the shift that he was on, and so they shut his shift down, and then we gotta kind of just keep working and clean as we're working.
Jeez,
it sucks. I mean, I'm probably just gonna go get tested just to make sure. So I don't want this crap to my family,
For sure.
Well, it's crazy for us. So, like with us, we took 3 weeks off while all of our competitors have been in customer homes. So we're just going back as of yesterday and I got to go in there changing clothes in between every single appointment. I got to put on shoe covers, gloves, and a mask. And
Really?
easy, man. But luckily, most of my customers have been cool. I mean, we've been getting begged to come back into business because all the other guys are still charging a premium, trying to get rich off customers. And we're just like the hometown feel of, look, man, my kids are going to eat tomorrow whether we do this or not. That's my big line. I said, they'll eat steak or ramen's up to you, but they'll eat. So, yeah, it's been awesome, man. I mean, I think I'm at 2 days back in. I'm already at 30,000 in sales. So, I mean, all we're doing is tubs and shower area. That's it. I don't even touch the countertops or anything. So it's been really receptive from people right now. And my customers that we had to put on hold for installs have been amazing. They're just like, hey, whenever you can get here, it's cool. No rush. And yeah, it's been kind of neat. So
yeah, my mom, she cuts hair, and she's been shut down since like middle of March, which has been brutal. But
oh man, I could have used her.
Yeah, we just started. I get you.
That's the issue. Is like so many people just are kind of going crazy. Like, I need a haircut, or a lot of her clients are older ladies, and they rely on her to wash their head. And it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I'd be going nuts. Luckily, I'm going bald, so I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Same here.
Yeah. Just a buzz cut.
When all in doubt, just shave your head and you're fine, good to go. So, is that apple?
Exactly. What's that?
Your apple cider vinegar or what?
Oh, of course, man. I didn't know if I could drink while I was going on the interview. So,
what is that?
We'll get some of the guys doing a chugging challenge. We were supposed to do a live show, and we were trying to get Faf to that one. And it's funny because Faf sent me a message, and he goes, dude, what the hell did I send you last night, dude? I was hammered on a beach. I'm like, aren't you getting ready for the NFL combine, like draft and stuff? Yeah, I'll be all right, dude. Jeez. You look at these guys.
Dude, he's crazy, man. He was, yeah.
Well,
did he get picked up?
I don't think
he did.
I don't think he was. I think he was going to. I mean, yeah, but it was hopeful at least. I mean, he had a decent pro day, so
yeah.
Everything else.
I was surprised Chris Orr didn't get drafted.
Yeah, that was weird too. We sat around waiting.
Maybe the injuries kind of.
I wonder if the injuries didn't hurt him, because he was a freak. Like my senior year, he started as a true freshman.
I mean, he's got how many knee injuries, and that's kind of like didn't Dan Volz, didn't he have kind of knee issues?
Oh yeah, he had a bunch of injuries, and that's why. I mean, he probably would have been a top pick. I mean,
yeah, did he retire
injuries?
College football?
Yeah, he hung it up like before his senior year, I think.
I thought I saw that.
When you look at Chris Borland, man, I mean, we talked earlier on camera about the concussion stuff. I mean, there's a guy who had it all. I mean, hell, he was a standout player first.
Yeah, he was studly, man.
Yeah, killed it his rookie year in the league too.
He talked to his agent. We were trying to set up a signing with him, and he goes, "You might want to wait a few days." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Just wait a few days and then let me know if you still want to work with him or not." I was like, all right. News came out like the next day. I kind of figured they kind of hinted at it, but didn't obviously say it. But yeah, that was a whole league-wide thing going, what? I mean, that was as big as the Jordan Luck thing, man. It was just weird to be like, why would you hang it up, man? Like, you're a stud. I mean, you got guys that are barely making 25, 50 grand a year after tax, getting walloped, and here you are with everything to gain. So, but I didn't realize they had issues in college already too. They were saying that got rung up pretty good.
Yeah, that's kind of the crazy thing is, I mean, and as a competitor, like, I don't know, there's just things you don't tell. I mean, people, I mean, that's part of like, you think manhood or whatever. Yeah. And so, I mean, some of that stuff can be scarier than you think. I know I watched the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
Oh yeah.
And Borland was in it a lot.
Yeah.
And he's talking about like ringing in his ears and stuff like that. And I'm like, dang. Then I start thinking about if I've had any of those symptoms. But man, I mean,
Tyler, if you
can't live in fear either. That's
no. I mean, I think honestly, if I would have known then what I know now, just living with the symptoms, even being a coach, man, it was tough. Even at the arena level, I mean, you just look at, even in sales, I mean, I'd be driving to a customer's house and I would stop in the middle almost of an intersection on the side of the road, and I would call my ex, who I haven't been with in 6 years. Hey, where am I going right now? And it was, hey, dummy, stop calling me. We haven't been together in 6 years. Ask your girlfriend. I was like, oh crap, like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's toll, and there are some things where, the headaches got so bad for a while, it kept me up. I was getting 35 minutes of sleep a night, they figured. I mean, it
Really?
to play with. I mean, that was after 7, I think I had documented, and probably 15 to 20. I was an undersized lineman in high school, and then didn't move to defensive back till my second year, at that higher level. So it was crazy.
Yeah.
Your body, man. That's the advice I could give you. I know I'm not at the same level you are, but that would be, honestly, if I could ever give you advice, man, it would be listen to your body. I mean, you have a strong faith behind you too. I mean, sounds cheesy, man, but once I gave it all up and kind of gave it to him this past, year, it's been amazing, the changes that have happened in my life. And at least you have that solid Wisconsin degrees, I should say, that you can rely on too, which is huge for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's definitely like this last year. I was out of work for a while, so I definitely started kind of focusing on what my plan B, so to speak, would be. And yeah, it makes you think. But
have you ever thought about coming back to Wisconsin, or are you pretty well set? You're gonna probably hang around Minnesota then with whatever you do.
No, I think I might end up back in Madison. Honestly, I've got a couple of opportunities there.
Well, we heard that a lot. Gosser and Decker too. I mean, there's just something about Madison, even career-wise. I mean, there are so many. What people don't realize, there's so many corporate headquarters down there and amazing opportunities. That's where there's like, I can move here, I can move there. Like Josh's girl or wife now, her family's very well off. I mean, dropping them off at that house was like, do I need a security code?
Yeah.
But he's like, dude, Madison, man, there's just something about it there where I just think I would end up back. And a lot of players seem to, at whatever level, end up back down there. I know, but you guys still have Bollinger's hanging out by you guys out in Minnesota yet. I know he's still out there.
Yeah, he's coaching up at Cretin-Durham, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I might get into coaching too, which obviously I can take you wherever. But yeah, man, Madison's a great place to be. I know I'm drinking whiskey here, bourbon, but
nice.
and this is some from a Minnesota distillery, but I've seen that like Madison has some popping up, and there's one in Baraboo.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any up in the Green Bay area or Appleton area or not.
There's a couple breweries, but
they have a pretty Capital Brewery and a few other ones. So hopefully you'll get a chance to play up in Green Bay at some point soon, so we can catch up with you.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
I was up there for a preseason game a couple years ago.
Okay. Was it? Yeah.
And yeah, we ate at some place kind of right on like a bay area. There's like a bar that had a patio out back, and
Fratello's maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
it might be Fratello's. Yeah.
If it was kind of like
highway,
it was kind of like a chain of, of like, I don't know if it was restaurants or like, like shopping areas, and then in the back it was a patio, and yeah, it was nice. And then we ate at a steakhouse the night before, which is solid too.
Nice.
It might be what's that? That old Packer place. That's like the old Packer Hagemeister. Maybe that.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if you guys know what hotel the team stay at.
Oh, in Appleton.
It wasn't.
You're in Appleton.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't too far away from. I don't know if we stayed in Appleton or not.
If it was
Paper Valley in Appleton.
Yeah. Well, now
a Red Lion or something. I don't know
what it is. But a lot of the teams in Seattle came here last year for the playoff game. They stayed right downtown at the Hyatt, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what we did.
I wonder if people are going to go to the north one now, because that's where the Packers were. But
yeah, they're not. I don't think they have big enough meeting space and everything for what they need. Because like the Seahawks took up every single banquet in the KI Center, like they had reserved off. They actually kicked a group out midway through and said, "We're going to give you like $10,000 to get out of here right now because we want your meeting space for like our extra training room and training." So yeah, it was pretty crazy. So yeah, it's always different. I don't know. I think because they've changed hands so many times in the Appleton area too, and then I know one of the teams was complaining. I think it was the Bears because they kept getting it down there during Oktoberfest. So everyone would
yeah.
Hey, the Bears are in there, so everybody would start going crazy all hours of the night to make sure they were messing with them. And yeah,
dude, that was like when we went and played at down in Tampa. The hotel we stayed at was like right in the bay, and it was New Year's Eve because we're playing New Year's Day, and at midnight, freaking fireworks start going off, and I'm pretty sure. I think I was roommates with Dan at the time, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Why would they put us in this? It went on for like a half hour, and I'm like, all right, well, we're not going to go to sleep anytime soon. It was just,
might as well
just
go. Yeah, exactly.
Setting us up to fail the night before the game. I was like, why would you pick this hotel?
Well, nothing's worse than what the Patriots did this year, man. Trying to ship out the Chiefs' luggage.
Is that what they did?
It was something like the plane got told they couldn't stay there, so they had to like make the plane leave. And they literally had a contract set with the local high school saying, well, your helmets are close enough. We need to borrow your shoulder pads from 10 years ago. And yeah, it was crazy because we know Alan, their equipment guy, and he was like, dude, it was close. Like they just got their equipment. I think it was 55 minutes before the game or something this year. So it was crazy between the Chiefs and Pats. Yeah. They said Foxborough one place that you can go to where you might not everything can happen in Foxborough. There's a reason
that's sketchy.
Yeah. I've been having that stuff for years and nothing happens to them too. So
yeah.
You can say hi. My other half's sitting here and she's too nervous to talk to you. Whoop. Whoop. Just broke a light. Big deal.
Jeez.
That's all right. It's on the
thing.
Just got that light. And I didn't even sip. You're fine. You can take it off now. We're done shooting. So yeah, so it's gonna have her pick your brain about Nashville and all. Oh, that's too dark. You can turn on the back. Okay, so all of a sudden got weird in here.
What are we watching?
Right. Now that the off and down.
Yeah.
Or Tyler Goes Dark Part 2. No. So I don't get the nasty kitchen in the background. You're fine. So this is my other half, Tyler. So
hi, nice to meet you.
So yeah, she's the singer, the talent of the family. I just sit here and BS with you guys, but she's the one with like the good voice and does all that. So obviously the go-to down there. Obviously Dirk Bentley's place in Red. We know kind of decently most of the guys from Big and Rich and that. We actually got to hang out with them a little bit last year when they were down here, and they put our kids on stage, which was pretty neat. So
nice.
But we're trying to think of where else to really take her to experience it. FGL is obviously good.
Yeah.
I want to find some of those ball bar where I'm not spending, like you said, $10 a beer or $15 a shot either.
Yeah, there's a place kind of off the beaten path called Losers, which isn't bad.
She's gonna make a list. She's the organized one of us too. It's like
a
list. If you look at her phone of list upon list upon list, it's crazy. Wow, that is a huge Father's Day. What was that one? Go back.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of those places too, like after midnight, they get kind of sketchy where it's like, I don't even know if you want to be there.
I mean, who was the coach that originally started that? Nothing good happens past midnight, or unless
there's been a lot more crime down there.
Yeah, it's been weird. We looked at an Airbnb that was like in Cumberland over there, or right on the Cumberland, right downtown.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not bad because I think it's cheaper for me to Airbnb. It was like $600 versus a hotel for like $8 or $9, and that was even within 20 miles out there. It was just crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous the cost of hotels and then like you can't drive anywhere, so you're better off just Ubering or Lyfting but yeah, I'll put your number down in here. I haven't got a chance to do that yet, and then I'll send you the list that I've got.
Sweet. Yeah, if you got we'll treat you right. We're not gonna sit there and take advantage of it, but I mean, if you got some buddies you can support, obviously I'd rather do that.
Yeah, man, no, for sure. It's definitely a rowdy time.
I mean, you went to Madison, man. Let's be honest. I went down there a few times, and I was back down there. If you remember when Boo Wade played basketball down there.
Boo Wade.
I don't remember that.
Random friend, and we ended up staying with. She's here, but we ended up staying on Sorority Row. We went down when I was my senior year. We went down there on the St. Patrick's Day. We didn't come back for a week. I mean, we lived in a different house every week. But yeah, Boo was there. Dan Wilkinson, all those guys. It was that generation of basketball players, and we went down there one night, and these drunk ass kids were in the middle of the day. We'll take you guys on. We'll crush you. I'm like, this is when they made the Big Ten or the Final Four, and I'm like, okay. They're like, white boy, you can have any guys you want around here. We'll just kick your asses. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take Boo Wade, Dan Wilkinson, this one and that one. And they're like, all right, let's go. We got $700. Well, the guys go, we can't take the money from them, but you're buying drinks tonight, friend. I said, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. I mean, hell, I ended up dunking on him at one point back when I could still move. It was just crazy. And it's like everyone else recognized him, and yeah, it was weird. So I remember who it was on the football team. It was one of the guards, I think. We ended up hanging out, and all of a sudden, his girlfriend ended up hanging out at the house party we were at or whatever, my buddy's dorm, and we're hanging out. Well, he caught wind of it. All of a sudden, we hear a big boom, boom, boom banging down the door. I was like, huh. Also, my buddy goes, it must be for you. And my buddy that was my roommate here in Green Bay, I lived on my own my senior year of high school, which is awesome. So my roommate I had decides to just bolt on me. So here I am in this room all by myself, this big old 375-pound beast. And I'm 5'10" maybe at the time, 160 pounds soaking wet, going, oh crap, oh crap. He goes, get the hell out, and clears everybody else that was in the hallway out. Looks at me and goes, so here's the deal. Oh crap. He goes, I've been trying to get rid of that little thing for months, man, or years. He goes, I've been looking for a reason. You're it. So here's the deal. He goes, here's $200 to start. He goes, you're going to go to these bars. You're going to give my name. You don't give my name, I'll personally hunt you down and make you wish you never came here. I said, he goes, yep. He goes, you just solved all my problems. So I went out. Second night, he comes back to the door, pounding down. He goes, hey, one of my boys saw you out this place, that place. You didn't give my name. I told you I'm going to whoop up on you. He goes, you have one more chance to prove me right. So, yeah, the next time we went out, used his name, made a couple more money. So it was a good trip, man. It became a fun business. I ended up clearing like $1,200 by the time we left between all the side bets. So, yeah. And,
this guy's just always hustling.
Man, got to.
Yeah.
Man, I've been almost homeless. I've been, with a 480 credit score. Now I'm up over the 700s. And, it's just, it is what it is. I grew up not having money as a kid. And whenever I had it, I give to other people or try and do a lot of charity stuff too. So it's not.
That's awesome.
For me, it's been about, helping people off the street or helping people. There's a kid named Cody that we help out a lot that has Down syndrome. And I had met him at a Michael Ray concert of all people. And there's two girls in the front row. All he wanted to do was sit there and get up front. And I kind of told New here, I said, something about this kid I want to get to talk to. And she looked at me funny because this kid's surrounded by a group of girls. I'm like, you need to get away from all those women, man. Do you need a break? You can come hang out by me. And the two girls in the very front wouldn't let him stand up here. All he wanted to do was the support of the corner racks, just want to stand there. And they wouldn't let him. They go, who do you think you are? And this and that. I'm like, you're saying to a kid with Down syndrome has no idea. Like, he's already.
Yeah.
So we ended up hanging with the guy, if you remember, Festival Foods. And luckily I kind of knew him through one of our Packer Connects and just kind of said, here's the deal. And they put us on the corner of the stage. Well, obviously, the Culver's restaurants. One of our friends out here, her dad ran it before he passed away. And she goes, well, let's buy the band shots for being so cool because they threw him a drumstick or something. So I'm in the back of the distillery buying shots. All of a sudden you hear, Cody. I'm like, are you kidding me? I get a message that says, hurry up. They put Cody on the stage and they had him doing songs and Michael singing to him and stuff and shout him out on all of his social media and that. And it was the coolest thing.
That's awesome.
Then we took Cody to Big and Rich, and yeah, they put Cody on stage right away and they tried to grab my daughter. My daughter wouldn't go, so they took my 6-year-old son and put him up, and the guys got to, instead of crashing the guitars like they normally do, they gave my son and Cody both a signed guitar. So, but now we're dealing with Cody's mom actually might need a heart transplant. She's working at 10% efficiency right now.
Damn.
It kind of sucks with everything going on because we want to do a couple big fundraisers for him, but we can't.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's, man, what can we do and what can we do? And she's got, man, if you want to talk about someone with high faith and strong values, man, she is every day. I'm just so blessed by God to be able to hang out with friends like you. And we're like, how are you so positive? Like, no offense, but if I got told I have a 5% working heart, I would be a lot more freaking out, especially with the son with, the special needs and everything. I said, I don't know. I mean, her son has special needs and luckily we're both healthy and we can barely manage some days. It's like, how in the world do you, it's
yeah,
like you talk about. I mean, I don't want to get too much in your faith on on camera, but I definitely know that, you've had your fair share of experience as well. So it's always cool when you can connect on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of what I wanted the show to be about. But I know it's such a taboo thing where even guys that have that strong faith that you know about are still, I don't want to say the wrong thing. And, you turn into the next Reggie White, denouncing somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
Too. It's cool. And you can have that real connect with someone that has that genuineness and that charity. I mean, reading your bio for Wisconsin, it talked about, your charity camps that you'd always do and stuff like that too, which is pretty neat. So yeah, we always connect with someone like that for sure.
Yeah, man, it's definitely, I mean, I wish I could do more. And I mean, if I was a bigger name guy, it would definitely be one that has a charity and do a fundraiser and stuff like that. I've got some buddies I was teammates with that put on, charities, and it's a lot of work. But so, I mean, I respect people that do it, but are you Old Dominion fan? Country music group?
Yeah.
You should check out, they have like a little 7-minute documentary called, what's their last song? Is it like Some People Do? I think it's called like Some People Do. It's kind of a sad song, but they've got like a documentary where they like go and talk to this guy out in California who was homeless. He was like a drug addict, and like he turns himself around and he starts giving homeless people haircuts.
Oh yeah.
And like he's like, it's crazy how like a haircut can change their world. He's like, there's been a couple of people that have gotten job offers after the haircut, and he's like, you just never know. So it's kind of a cool little quick documentary that it hits you hard.
Well, and you don't need to do anything big either, Tyler. I mean, people just appreciate, especially being in the Midwest, we're kind of lucky because people kind of come to know and appreciate the small stuff. But every year since I've been here, the last 3 years, I'll sit at the grocery store, and if someone just has like 7 things, if it's basic stuff, I'll buy it for them. And they look at me like, why would you do that? I'm like, you have 7 things. And let's be honest, 1, I'm impatient. I don't want to wait for you to have to check out. Number 2, it's going to cost me like $10. It's fine. It's just, even if it's not the holiday time, like you just see someone like, I saw a lady one time ahead of me and she had quite a bit of stuff, but she was pulling out all dollar bills and the change. And I was like, I can't let you try and pay $40 and get embarrassed if you don't have the right. You know what I mean? It's just like, and whether it comes full back around then or later, I mean, it's just the right thing to do. So, I mean, you don't have to be them big misconceptions. You have to be huge. I mean, definitely my bank account's nothing to be happy about. Like I said, I busted, I was 18 years old and thought I had all this money, and I was trying to live with my NFL buddies and keep up, and had a chance to sign some deals early on and make money at a professional level and stuff and do certain things. And obviously it didn't work out because of injury, and I spent the money before I had it. It took me 17 years now to recover. I mean, it wasn't easy. And, my brother had just filed bankruptcy not long ago, was trying to give me advice after a bad breakup. And I think it was right after my mom died, I finally just said, you know what, man, I just gotta change. I wasn't happy. I was with a woman because I thought she was good looking, not because she was right for me. And that's all I could focus on. And we had kids, and I'm figuring, is my son the reason I stay or whatever? And come to find out she was cheating on the same dude she's with now since high school, on and off the entire time. And now I'm the happiest I've ever been, man. It's just all about finding that right person. And there was a cool quote I think I put up the other day. It was like, find a woman that'll run towards God with you, not, it was like to the face of sin, or it was something like that. But it was kind of cool because, one day I just kind of tested her out. I said, hey, you want to come to church with me? Just see what she said. And she was really weird about it. And I didn't realize her upbringing, obviously, with the ethnic background was different because it was, this is our one and only religion. You can't do that. And I didn't know her story. And then we got in front of what do you want to call them? The not leadership group, but you're kind of initiation to the church type classes. It was there that I finally heard her story, and we had been together for 6, 7, 8 months before I even heard that. Now it's brought us to an even better, place in our relationship now where, it went from, hey, let's just hang out. We spent times talking, and that's kind of where I knew for her, she was going to be special to me because we spent time talking on an online, dating website. And I like how you're hiding behind me. Turning red. We call it the Asian flush because she'll turn red. And I don't see wine in her hand, so it's embarrassment. But yeah, we literally chatted on Plenty of Fishable, the goofy sites you can meet on. But we literally spent 2 months talking. She finally gave me a shot, and it was like an instant, like, here we are. And I usually try to be pretty protective with the kids, but my kids were instantly like, Mom, Mom, Mom. I was like, holy crap. And her kids right away. And yeah, I don't want to bore you too much with it, but it's just been amazing. Like, her daughter clings on to me like her own dad and calls me dad. And it was cool because she originally asked her dad to take her to a father-daughter dance, and then he kind of like made her feel bad about it, kind of in a way. And then she was going to ask her uncles, and then she wanted to ask me, but didn't want them to feel bad. And then she calls me one night and says, "Are you home?" "Yeah." "Okay, but you got to stay upstairs and be surprised." I'm like, what the heck? And I kind of thought maybe something was up with it, and wrote me this really cute card. And she had just learned about circuits in school, so she had the little battery connected to a rose that glue up on the card. I was like, oh my God. And cried like a baby because that's something I don't have with my own daughter. My son, daughter, and I have always had that disconnect. She's a country girl. Her mom still lives at home with her parents at 35 years old, one of those things. And
oh geez.
Yeah, so it's always been dad's this, dad's that, and she doesn't understand what I do. But here's her daughter that I always wish she had, and she tells my daughter all the time, she goes, "You don't know how lucky you are, like, taking her to our first ever sporting event or first ever concert." And my daughter, has grown up around NFL locker rooms and traveling and whatever. She's like, oh, whatever. And it's cool to be able to share that with her and the kids now and do so many things that she's never been able to do. So,
and me.
Yeah. Approached me about jumping on with me, and I was like, man, I don't know what your background is. He's like, I'm a nerd with sports and I have all the numbers. I'm like, good, because I'm not. I'll just talk for a living. I said, I want to know all the cool stuff off the field that I've gotten to know about and chime in now and then. But yeah, Jess, Rain Man, as I like to call him, of sports. I just all the other.
I have a bunch of useless knowledge, my wife says.
There, and she goes, dude, how much Jeff like just admires you and loves being part of it, because Jeff will say, thanks for letting me be a part of this all the time. And I'm just like, dude, we're just two dudes hanging out, and she'll make fun of me all the time, like, how's Jeff? And it's kind of cool because our families haven't even officially met yet, and it's so crazy how this has even brought us together. And here we are at the weirdest time ever in sports history, probably.
It's just fun talking sports, man. That's what I enjoy.
Well, and I like this part,
for sure.
Off air about life off the field. Like, no offense, but I can watch an interview with you if I really want to. This is the part that I think our people are going to connect with, and hopefully it will eventually help us take off. Where obviously Cam Newton would never do anything like this. It'd be my name, my name that. Yeah. Guys come in with, I think, what is it?
I can't find a team right now.
Yeah, which is crazy.
I think that's one of the good things about Wisconsin too in general is like they find those diamonds in the rough. And like, I mean, I don't know, like I was a half a star recruiter, whatever, the lowest star you can give. And I mean but there's how many of them? I mean, like Travis Frederick, Ryan Groy, I mean, Rick Wagner, like none of those guys are big recruits. And I mean, now look at them and they're all just like good, down to earth people.
You play with Ricky Wagner?
Yeah. He's a good dude, man.
You think he's going to do well here? I hope he does.
Yeah, I think he kind of I don't know. Last year was such a bad year for him, like injury-wise.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he was making bank, and then they cut him, and now he's, I mean, not making nearly as much. But I hope he can kind of, like, rejuvenate his career. And, I mean, it's got to be awesome for him to be coming back and playing for the Packers. I mean,
exactly. I'm sure. But he is a Wisconsin kid, isn't he? Or?
Yeah, God, I can't remember this hometown.
Jeff, you're the walking knowledge, man. You don't mess with it.
It's close to Milwaukee.
The only guy I know that played around here from Wisconsin. What's his name? Andy Kemp.
Mm-hmm.
He played at
Nina. O-line.
I'll say Hunter was
I played against him. He whooped my freaking butt across the field. My dad was laughing in the stands. Oh.
So you said you live where, Jeff?
I'm close to Appleton, Wisconsin. I'm probably 5 minutes from there. And
so you guys are both from there?
No, I'm in
No, he's in Green Bay area.
Oh. And where do you guys both grow up in those towns too?
We both grew up in Green Bay.
Later on.
Went to the same high school. We played football together.
Okay.
You said you were a half a star, dude. You were a 3-star recruit ranked 7th in the entire state. Like, let's not be coy about it.
No, I know, but like,
so, you're not on not Gridiron Gang. What the heck's that movie with Adam Sandler?
Yeah, half a star versus superstar.
Exactly. Yeah. You're definitely nowhere near the star level. I don't think Wisconsin hands out lineman scholarships to half stars. So don't sell yourself short, man. There's one thing I learned in life: don't ever sell yourself too short, man. If you want. So
for sure.
But yeah, you definitely did some great things and own it, man. I mean, not many people have the experiences you did. So
be proud. I hope my kid can do something like that.
Heck yeah, man. That was hard work, man. That's when you're white and not super talented. That's
the keyword white.
Yeah, hard work has to come out, man.
I did my pro day down in Dallas. I actually worked out in front of the Cowboys, and I was the only white DB, and I was the tallest dude out there. So the coach looks at me from Miami at the time. Hey, white boy, you stand out like a sore thumb. He goes, you better bring it today or you're going to get your ass sent home on my first freaking drill. I was all set, and then Chicago and them were kind of getting into it between the coaching staff, and I was doing pro agility. They did one-on-ones, but they had to retest me on my pro agility. I went back, and when I went to go turn my last turn through the middle, all of a sudden, pop, you could hear everything go, and then I found out I had bone chip, spurs, and assists. And then I found that out. Green Bay brought me in for a workout, and Rick was my scout at the time, and I was doing everything, same thing, pro agility, pop. Well, good thing you don't have far to go. Do you want me to call you a ride home here, sport, or what? It just sucked. But, yeah, then they found out the concussion history, and that's it. But, yeah, it was still cool. And that's when Jerry Jones was just built a new stadium. So, speaking of the Metrodome, I got to play in the last ever game there and the first ever game in the new stadium. And then I got to coach for a bowl game in Minnesota. They do that really cheesy All-American Bowl, it's called there, for the undrafted guys or the lesser-known college players. And that was pretty cool. I've gotten to do that a couple of years. So,
okay.
But again, I think they usually try and do it end of December or even into January. I'll let you know, and maybe bring you on board. You can coach my O-line if I decide to do it again. It'd be fun.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
And you don't have far to go, so that's always plus.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
You're on the coaching side, do a whole lot. I was really feeling it my last time in there because apparently I ended with "Let's effing pray." So now it's a running joke between all the coaches and players of like, "Hey, coach, you got a second? Let's effing pray and get this thing ready." And I was like, man, man, I was starting to get that itch. And then now today I wake up like, oh man, can I even sleep? And she laughs because I'll be up all night, and we're on the same piece schedule. Even it's awesome. Sleep? Are you okay? Are you this? Are you that? Are you that? And it's like, no, it still hurts from 10 years ago. And yeah, just enjoy it while you can, but don't overdo it, man. It sounds
for sure.
Like, listen to your body. That's the best advice I ever give these young guys is, whew. I mean, they'll tell you it hurts, but I mean, Brett Favre said it best when he goes, dude, that freight train just keeps coming every day, and I've been out of the game for 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a little bit nicer as an O lineman. I mean, yeah, you still have the risk, but it's not, like you said, a skilled player. You're head on 40 yards down the field. You don't have as much special teams problems. So it's a nice problem to have.
Yeah. The only thing is we have the day-to-day, like running backs aren't getting tackled in practice where we're still banging, which sucks. But
right.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
All
right. Well, roll with it.
There you go. I know you gotta get going. We're pushing 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I gotta get up at 5, so I gotta get going.
Yeah. Well, it was good chatting, guys. Hopefully we can.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, good.
Hopefully we can have some beers and watch a sporting event or go to a concert sometime.
I'm in.
We'll have all video chat again soon, so we can partake in some shots at cornhole or some on TV if we all get bored one night. Who knows?
There you go. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you guys.